Check 1, 2.
Curious about real estate?
Yes!
Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need, get over the fear, and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us for podcast number 192. Today we have 5 questions sent in by real estate investors, and I do appreciate that. I have fun doing this. I hope I'm helping those of you out there that are new or existing real estate investors. We are climbing the polls over at iTunes, and we could certainly use your help as much as possible in giving us recommendations or rankings, whatever they call it over there. The more we can receive, the better our placement will be. That will help a ton. Don't forget about Yellow Letters Platinum Card. I know we have so many left at the price point it is, but it gets you 15% off on all 2016 purchases, and they sell things like postcards, yellow letters, greeting cards, business cards, door hangers, professional letters, anything and everything pretty much you can use as a real estate investor they have. So let's get to these questions. Question number 1, a seller and I agreed on a sales price of $42,000. They are relocating from Louisiana to Colorado, need the proceeds to pay for moving and purchasing a new property. They have asked if they could rent the house for 30 days after we complete the transaction. How would you structure this deal? I think I talked about this a little bit on another one, but it's a per diem fee. What you want to do is you want to do a 3 times normal rent and have that amount of money held back into escrow or your closing attorney. So let's assume normal rent would be $700. And so 3 times that, you're going to hold $2,100 as a per diem. On your agreement, it shows that the unit is to be occupied so many days afterwards. And you give them that luxury. I would also do an addendum to the agreement. Clearly states what you are anticipating as far as a move out date. And then how do you get their per diem of them living there, and how do they receive the balance, and what happens if in fact they're there more than 30 days. So you can spell it all out. And if anybody needs that form, just holler at me. I have that form. If you want something from me, you'll need to go onto michaelquarles.com, go up to Ask Michael, and there's a form there to fill out, and it will eventually get to the right person to give you some stuff. Remember, guys and gals, we now have as an automatic download, if you go and jump on any of the forms on any of the pages, not the Michael Ask Me form, but any of the forms, it will send you my 3-page agreement, my goal setting worksheet, which is pretty cool, and also a graph and some market analysis for the markets, the 114 markets I market into. If I can help you succeed, I certainly will. It is actually my job, my duty in life now is to help those folks out there that need to buy more houses and get in the housing business. This is a great business. For those of you that know and are in the business, you absolutely know how great of a business it is. Do the contract, have them occupy it for 30 days. Make sure you have a per diem fee 3 times the normal rent. Hold that back out of the closing funds. Have an addendum that details what is going to happen when they're moving out, what happens if they don't move out, those kinds of things. So great question. Question number 2. What do you use as motivation when time is not an issue? So how do you stay motivated? Gosh, I didn't get that one all of a sudden. For some reason, I'm a little slow. Monday morning, big weekend. Boy, I slept all day yesterday. It felt so good. It rained and poured in my city, and my honey and me, too much information, but we slept. Love you, babe. How do you stay motivated? Gosh, that seems to be a common question nowadays. Is you got to be motivated, and how you stay there. You continually look at what it is that you want out of this business, out of this life of yours. We have 6 areas of our life that we should stay motivated in, and work and making money is only one of the 6. We have a family, we have health, we have social, we have cultural, we have an ethic standard, spiritual standard. We have all kinds of stuff that we need to stay motivated to. So how do we do it? We keep monitoring it. We keep moving forward. We keep getting better. If we don't want to become better, it would be hard to stay motivated. And I know it's hard to be motivated to do something you've never done before, but so how do you taste it? You're working with closing companies. You're working with people that close transactions for other people. Why don't you just go visit one? Ask them, hey, how many checks on a weekly basis do you write for investors or private sellers and private buyers? How big are they? Without giving me any details, are they huge? Or you give them like $250,000 checks, $10,000 checks? How big are the checks? They may help you. Someone says, yeah, pretty much every day I write 10 checks out to investors who sold and bought a piece of property and they're all $50,000, $70,000. That'd piss me off. I'd get pissed off. I'd like to see that my brotherhood is success and they're doing the right things, but I'd be pissed off if I didn't have that happen to me as well. So man, it would just irk me the wrong way. It'd make me want to go do another push-up kind of thing. So you can stay motivated that way. Visit a homeless shelter for kids, women. But if you want to be motivated to make a difference in life, go look at people that really need someone to make a difference in their life and realize that they may not have the motivation or the ability to afford their change, but you certainly do. That's one way to get great motivation is go see somebody else and see how you can help them. And in order to help them, you have to be successful as a person yourself. That'd be great motivation to me. If you have children, just look at those kids. You have a choice. Read some stats. You have a choice between allowing your children to stay out of college because you can't afford it and grow up that route, or you have a choice of sending your kids to some of the better colleges in the country and look at what that would do for them. Boy, that would be motivating to me. There's a lot of ways to find that motivation. You can just find it for yourself. And it has to be yours. It can't be anybody else's. You can't borrow motivation. It's absolutely your own. Question number 3, what is the best way for a novice investor to develop a purchase contract? That's a great question, and I have a simple, easy answer for you. Just go to my website. Any of the forms that say, sign up, get notified of stuff that happens. We get your email address. You get my contract, my market analysis, and my goal worksheet, and it's my 3-page contract we use. Now, I'm not an attorney. You probably should take that to an attorney to see if it works for you, but it works for me. So that's the best way to do it. It's the easiest way to do it. So instead of trying to create something on your own that you don't know how to create, why don't you just go grab one from someone who's been successfully using one? That's all. That's all it is.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Question number 4. Does the location of the title company I work with matter? Absolutely. The more convenient it can be to your consumer base, the better for you. The more convenient it can be to you, the better for you, which is why I like national companies. Now, because some states are attorney states and some states are escrow states, that really only works in the escrow state. Because although they're national title companies, they're not national escrow companies. So yeah, close proximity to your seller always wins. And then from your perspective, sometimes that just means that they're gonna send you docs. And we have a traveling notary, so they'll come to my office for $30. And so if I'm doing a closing and all my stuff has to be signed, it's $30. It takes her half an hour to get from wherever she's been to my place. It takes her 30 minutes while I'm here. So she's making, $30 an hour, I guess. And I try to give her more, and she doesn't want it. I keep telling her she needs to charge me more. Every once in a while, we'll sneak in an extra $20, and she gets all embarrassed because I gave her $20, a $20 tip. But, I know what she does for me. So, make it first convenient for your seller. And then second, convenient for you. But know the title company. Here's the key. Just because we know we use ABC Title over on 123 Any Street, that's not professional enough. I want you to go to the ABC Title Company over on 123 Any Street and introduce yourselves, get to know them. I need them to know you first person. Because when you're not there, when in silence of you not being there, questions are going to be asked about you from people you do business with. We need to make sure that those answers are appropriate. And the only way they can be appropriate is if you have influenced the answer. So if you've gone there, you've met them, you've been professional, you took them donuts, you took them cake, you took them cookies, you were just a joy to be around. And I know for some of it's hard for us to be a joy. Let's face it, I'm not always a joy to be around, but you have to work at it. You have to, set yourself up to be successful. And sometimes that is getting out of the jerk mood that we're in that day and just saying, hey, I'm going to stop being this jerk and I'm going to be a better person to those people around me, because if I am, I get what I want at the end of the day and they get a better life because they don't have to put up some jerk that's talking to them. And, I'll raise my hand on that one. I mean, there's days that I have absolutely been that idiot. And if that describes you, we can change. If I can change, I know you can change. It's sometimes it's hard to change. Sometimes it's hard to swallow our pride and become a better person to those people who directly impact our life. And if you don't think service providers and folks that are doing business on your behalf are impacting you, you're crazy. They are. So let's treat everybody as if we wanted to be treated that way. If it's okay for someone to be grumpy with us, then be grumpy, I guess. But it's typically not okay. So treat those people with kid gloves. One of the questions I always have my coaching students ask there's 10 questions we ask a title company before we hire them, or escrow closing company before we hire them. And the last question is, what's your favorite restaurant? Because when we absolutely are obligated to everybody we deal with to treat them with such respect that, and in especially our closing company, because they do so many things. Yes. They're just doing their job. I understand. There's going to be some of you say, Michael, they're just doing their job. I get that. They are. But they're doing it for me. That's what I'm getting, is I'm getting the job done for me. And I owe it to me to have thanks for those folks that do that stuff. And so I'm going to reward them. I'm going to say thank you. If McDonald's is their favorite restaurant, they get a $100 McDonald's card. I'm not going to judge that way. But yeah, location to your customer first, then location to yourself second. Find a traveling notary that is reasonable and it's on call for you. And you can do a lot. You can do a lot in this country. We don't have to be a brick and mortar business anymore. We do not have to be a brick and mortar business anymore. Question number 5. When do I know I have been on the phone too long with a non-motivated seller? Well, let me answer this question this way. I'm going to actually do a role play with myself about the return seller call. So here we go. I am calling the seller back, most likely because they left me a message on my answering machine. So I'm going to go ring, ring, ring. They're going to answer the phone, say hello, and I'm going to say, hi, is Michael there? And they're going to say, this is Michael. Say, great, Michael. This is Michael with I Buy Houses. I'm returning your call. You had left me a message on my answering machine indicating that you had a house you were hoping to sell. Did you have a house you were hoping to sell? They're going to say yes or no. If they say no, anything more than, well, thank you for calling. When you do have a house to sell, please give me a call back. And in the meantime, if you know anybody that has to sell their house, please keep us in mind. We appreciate that. A lot of our business comes from repeat and referral folks just like yourself. Thank you for calling. You have a wonderful day. So sure, if they say no, that's as long as the conversation is. So if you talk to them any more than that, then you're talking too long. If they say, yes, we have a house we're hoping to sell, then you say, yes, you have a house you're hoping to sell. Well, terrific. Is that house currently listed with a real estate professional? They say, yes, it is. You say, yes, it is. Ouch. Well, we don't buy at this moment. We're not buying houses that are listed with real estate professionals. If it happens to become unlisted, so either canceled or expired, please give us a call so we can set a time to actually come out and buy your house. We're not going to teach somebody how to get out of their contract. However, they say, no, it's not listed with the real estate professional. We say it's not listed with the real estate professional. Well, outstanding, terrific, wonderful. Third question is if in today's marketplace, what do you think your house would appraise for if I sent out a professional appraiser to do a professional appraisal? What do you think they would appraise your house for? If they say, I don't know, then we go, you don't know. Interesting. Can you do me a favor? I know it's only Monday, but maybe this week you could set some time to visit some open houses or do a little bit of research, and maybe even calling a real estate professional out to your house for them to give you a price opinion. Kind of determine what your house is worth. Will you give me a call back? And we can schedule a time to actually come out and buy it. They'll say, well, why don't you know? You sent me a letter. I'm going to say, no, I don't know. But if you could go through that step, I would appreciate it. And give me a call back. In the meantime, who do you know that's looking to sell their house? No one? Terrific. We'll keep us in mind because a lot of our business comes from people from repeat and referrals. So it's important to us. And I'll talk to you soon. Sometimes you want to set an appointment for that callback. So you're going to call me back Thursday at 4, or would Thursday at 2 be better? So sometimes you'll do an alternate choice close on that follow-up. Sometimes they're going to give you an answer. They're going to say something like, well, I think they would appraise it for $120,000. So you say, $120,000. Really? Interesting. Michael, what were you hoping? Well, before I ask that question, let me tell you a little bit about what we do. I buy houses like yours all the time. We pay for all the costs, things like real estate fees, closing cost fees, transfer tax, courier fees, the escrow fees, title insurance. The list goes on and on. And probably the biggest convenience that our sellers tell us about is that we buy them in as-is condition. So we're not going to ask you to pay for any of the items that we notice that are broken. So we're going to buy the house in as-is and actually pay cash and close on the day of your choice. So the day that you would like to receive the cash is the day that you'll actually receive the cash. And so knowing that we're going to pay all the costs like real estate fees, closing company fees, title insurance, escrow fees, transfer tax, courier fees, those kinds of things, that we're going to be buying it in an as-is condition, whether we've seen the work or not, or the repairs or not. And knowing that we pay cash, so we don't have to qualify. You don't have the stress of wondering that your seller or your buyer is going to qualify. And that we're going to give you the money on the day of your choice. How much were you hoping to put in your pocket? The amount, what we call the walkaway money, the amount of money after we subtract any of the loans or any of the liens that are on the property, that you consider is fair. What amount of walkaway money would be fair for you to sell us your house today? And they're going to give you a number. They're going to say, I think $62,000. And here's what you do. So they just said $62,000. You go in your brain. You go 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008. $62,000. Wow. Oh my. Is that the least you'll take? $62,000? And they're going to give you an answer. Well, maybe we could see ourselves selling it for 57. 50. You could see yourself selling it for 57. Huh. Now, Michael, keep in mind now. When we talk about buying them in as-is condition, that means we're not going to ask you to fix those things that we see on the home inspection report when we have the home inspector inspect it. We're not going to have you fix the health and safety items that most always need to be fixed. We're not going to ask you to do any of those things. We're actually just going to give you the amount of money that we agree to today. What we consider is a fair win-win situation. It needs to be fair for you and fair for us. And we certainly haven't yet bought a house from anybody who hasn't agreed that the value is fair. In fact, we're batting 1,000. So knowing that that's how we're going to buy your house, and and I want to make sure you understand we're going to be fair. How much lower than the 57 can you see yourself selling your house for? And they're going to say something. They're going to say, I think the 57 is, I got a, 57 is about all I can do. 57's fine. I think it's worth whatever it was worth, kind of thing. And so you're going to do this, and you're going to keep doing this, and you're going to keep doing this until you're at 85 cents on the dollar of what they think it appraised for. And then at that point, you're going to make an appointment and do your second seller's questionnaire sheet. And if you never get to 85, then when you have asked someone 3 times for a price reduction and they have yet to reduce the price, then you're done. Anytime you're speaking after that point, you're talking too much. But if you every time you ask for a price reduction, you have to ask it in a way that causes a benefit to them. So you have to point out a benefit. Your tonality needs to be serious, not joyful. And you have to ask for a price reduction. You have to give them the reason for the price reduction, then ask for the price reduction, take the price reduction. If they each time they keep having a price reduction, then you must ask away until they stop reducing it 3 times. And then when they stop reducing it 3 times, that's their price. Okay? Now, naturally, somewhere in there, you're going to ask them, does the 57 or whatever number that they throw back out to you, is that it? Then I'm to assume the house is free and clear, or is there a loan on the property? And they're going to go, no, there's a $20,000 loan. Oh, there's a $20,000 loan. Oh, my goodness gracious. I was afraid of that. Because everything's, of course, negative. So there's positive reinforcements, tonality, pacing, neurolinguistics. And I don't know if you caught on the neurolinguistics on that one, but my coaching students, I think, would have caught on. Hope so. Just get some deals done. Okay? Outside of this podcast, I wanted to add something. So I'm going to call it question 6. I've been getting this question asked of me lately, and it sounds like this. What do I do today in my real estate business? Like, what do I do today? What is it that I should do today? And so I'm going to try to give you guys every once in a while something that you could do today. And so I'm going to give you this to do today. So if you're asking what I can do today that would better myself, make myself richer, rich doesn't necessarily mean money, but richer, a better person, a better investor, a better family man, a better family gal, a better mom, a better dad, those kinds of things. What could you do today for your career as a real estate investor? And that is, I want you to join a group. I want you to go out today, and I want you to join a group. The young Republicans, the young Democrats, the old Republicans, the old Democrats, the Lions Club, the Kiwanis Club, the this club, that club. There's a lot of business clubs, the Chamber of Commerce. There's, you could, all kinds of businesses that you can get involved in. A lot of them. I mean, if you're a realtor, get involved inside of your board of realtors. They have the groups that get together and they decide on various things. Find your city, find that group that you like, something that you like, that your energy is good for, that energy is good for you. But join a group, because here's what that's going to do for you. Instantly, you'll feel like you're moving forward, because it's not dropping out of a group, it's joining a group. It's becoming more in your life. I don't care if your days are already full and your nights are already full. Find a way to have 4 more hours a week that you can dedicate to this, and try to make it professional. Don't join the bowling alley club. That's not what I'm talking about, or the pool league. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a professional organization that you can be involved with in your community, and then become involved in your community by joining that group. Some of them are going to have subgroups, just like the Board of Realtors. They have subgroups. And find those things. Hand out those business cards. They're going to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself, understand who you are and what you do, be able to introduce yourselves to strangers. Guess what? If you did this if you did this, 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 all you have to do is this. Think about it that way. You would not have to do anything else as long as you on purpose were there every time there was there. Every time someone had a business opening, you were there. Every time someone got an award, you were there. Every time there was a business event, you were there. That's what I want you to do for yourself. I want you to be that person. Join a group today. That's all I have to say. Just join a group today. Join the group that you want to join, not one that you don't. If you don't find it interesting, you won't go. Join a group that you find interesting and go. Yes. Is it going to get out of your side of your skin? Sure. Sure. Is it going to be awkward? Sure. Is it going to be embarrassing? Sure. Absolutely. Who cares? Okay? Join a group today. Become an investor. Do not once you join this group, introduce yourself as what you do normally. You introduce yourself as, hi, my name is Michael Quarles. I'm a real estate investor. It is not Michael Quarles, author. It is not Michael Quarles, I own a marketing company. It is not Michael Quarles, anything else. It is, my name is Michael Quarles. I'm a real estate investor. That thing that you don't want to do anymore, you're never going to introduce yourselves to the groups that you join that's who you are. Shame on you if you do. You are a real estate investor. Be one. Be one. When you go to bed, you are one. When you wake up, you are one. It doesn't come from anybody else. It's not a title anybody else will give you. It's a title that you give yourself. If it is what you want to do, give yourself the title. Okay? Join a group today. So, I almost feel like, if you haven't found Jesus, come down. And it's kind of, sometimes it's like that. It's you've got to go outside of what, you at your core, you believe, because you haven't done this before, but you want to. If you want to bad enough, you will. Those that don't want to and just talk about it won't. If you're a talker, that's great. It's all right. But someday you're going to stop talking about it. You're going to say, I've been talking about it so damn long. I'm tired of talking about it. I need to be a doer. I need to do something about it. If you're a doer, if you've been talking too much, join a group today. It'll change your life. That's all I've got to say, guys and gals. I absolutely have fun doing these things. I hope it helps. Keep the questions coming. I'll keep the answers flowing. Remember, if you could go up onto iTunes and brag about me if you like me, and I guess don't brag about me if you don't like me. And let's fall forward. Let's go buy some houses. Let's become that guerrilla investor in your market. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.